The starship Horizon sailed through the quiet reaches of the Lyra Passage, carrying a mixed delegation of human explorers and allied envoys. Among them walked a young human engineer named Leon. He was not a warrior or diplomat, but someone who worked in the engine decks, kept systems stable, and repaired whatever broke. He never imagined that his path would cross with royalty from a distant world. Yet fate often favored unlikely meetings, and his would come when the Horizon docked at the grand station of the Veran Dominion. The Veran were known for their strict traditions, their towering silver halls, and their royal bloodlines that shielded their heir behind a ceremonial veil. Stories told that the veil hid a curse. No one outside the royal court had ever seen the face behind it. Leon had heard such tales, but gave them little thought until he saw the princess herself arriving with her escort. Princess Lyra moved with a quiet grace, her veil woven from thin metallic strands that shimmered in the station lights. It covered her entire face, making her unreadable and mysterious. Many travelers stepped away as she passed. No one dared greet her. Such was the rule of her culture. Her presence demanded caution. Her future demanded a bond with a partner strong enough to stand beside her. Yet for generations no noble or scholar had accepted the challenge. Rumors claimed the veil hid a visage so unusual that even the bravest fled. Others whispered that the princess carried a strange power that overwhelmed minds. Leon only felt curiosity when he watched her. She seemed isolated, lonely even. The idea stirred an unexpected sense of empathy within him. The Horizon crew had come to assist the station's failing power grid. Severe storms around the system weakened energy flows. Leon was part of the team sent to inspect the main conduits. While he worked with his tools, he noticed a quiet presence watching. Princess Lyra stood a few steps away. Her escort stayed at a respectful distance. The princess seemed fascinated by the human crew as they moved through the maintenance deck. Leon glanced toward her, then returned to his work. A moment passed, then another. He sensed she wished to speak, but hesitated. Her people rarely approached outsiders unless required. Still, she stayed. Finally, he turned and offered a simple greeting. "Hello. I hope we are not in your way." Her veil shifted slightly, suggesting she raised her head. Her voice emerged calm and melodic. "You are not in the way. I am observing your methods. Humans work with remarkable confidence." Leon smiled. "It is nothing special. Just fixing what needs to be fixed." For a brief moment, the tension around her eased. She asked him questions about the tools he used and why humans adapted so quickly to unfamiliar technology. He explained what he could, surprised by how attentive she was. Her escort watched with a hint of unease. No one approached the princess so casually. Yet she seemed grateful for the normality of the conversation. When she stepped away hours later, Leon sensed that something shifted between them. She had spoken to him longer than she spoke to most outsiders. He thought their meeting brief. She thought it meaningful. The next day, the station suffered a sudden surge that threatened to collapse its shield array. Emergency crews scrambled. Alarms rang. Leon rushed toward the central relay where the systems were failing. There he found the princess already present, trying to assist the technicians with instructions from her royal archives. Her knowledge was vast, but she lacked practical experience. When she touched an active console, the energy spike jolted through the room. Leon leapt forward and pulled her clear before the surge could harm her further. They fell to the floor. Her escort panicked, but the danger passed when the backup units stabilized. Princess Lyra sat upright, stunned. Leon kept a respectful distance, but spoke in a firm tone. "You should not risk yourself for this. Let trained crews take the dangerous positions." She looked at him through the veil. "My people rely on me. I cannot remain distant while their world trembles. "I admire that," he said. "But leadership does not mean placing yourself in harm's path. It means choosing when to act and when to trust others." Her head tilted as if the idea was new to her. From that moment on, she followed him during the repairs, offering guidance when needed, but letting him work. They became an unlikely team. Word spread across the deck. Humans were known for adaptability. Now they were known for courage as well. The princess began to see qualities in humanity that challenged her culture's traditions. She saw a resilience that refused despair. She saw a willingness to step into danger without hesitation. She saw in Leon something more than skill. She saw kindness. Over the next days, the crisis on the station drew them closer. They spoke during quiet hours about their worlds. She described the vast crystal plains of her home. He described the oceans of Earth. She told him of the royal veil, a symbol that shielded her identity until she found one worthy to stand beside her. He listened with sincerity rather than fear. His calm acceptance surprised her. Many nobles went silent when she mentioned the veil. Leon simply nodded. "Traditions can be heavy," he said, "but they don't define who you are beneath them." Her voice softened. "Most who speak with me do so out of duty. You speak as if I am simply another traveler." "You are," he replied. "And maybe that is what you want sometimes." If she smiled, he could not see it. But her posture shifted with a quiet warmth. She realized he understood her in a way no one else had. Not as a symbol, not as a duty, as a person. Their bond grew stronger when they worked together to prevent a meltdown in the auxiliary reactors. The station's storm shields faltered again. This time, the damage threatened the entire orbit. Leon and Princess Lyra entered the unstable chamber despite warnings. They calibrated the plasma flows with minutes to spare. When the final surge passed, the princess reached for his hand. It was the first time she touched someone outside her court. The gesture felt small, yet profound. Soon after the crisis ended, the Viren Council summoned her. They had observed her actions with the human. Some felt concern. Others saw possibility. It had been generations since a potential partner stood without fear beside the veiled princess. Their tradition required the princess to choose someone strong of heart. Leon had risked his life for her and for their station. He spoke to her without dread. He treated her neither as myth nor burden. Yet she hesitated. She did not wish to force expectations upon him. When she met Leon again, she stood in the quiet garden of the station. The artificial lights shone like distant stars. She told him the truth. "In my culture, a bond with the air is a lifelong duty. It requires courage. It requires seeing me fully, even if what is beneath this veil defies your expectations." Leon took a calm breath. "Then show me. If you wish. If you trust me." Her hands trembled. No one had ever spoken those words without fear. Slowly she lifted the veil. It fell away like a silver curtain. Leon saw her face. It held features unlike any human's, with luminous skin patterned in gentle iridescence and eyes shaped like polished gems. She waited for him to recoil. She waited for him to step back. Instead, he studied her face with a thoughtful expression. "You are extraordinary," he said. "Nothing frightening about you. Only beautiful and unique." Her breath caught. She replaced the veil, but her voice carried emotion. "You are the first to look upon me without hesitation. The first to see me as more than a rumor." He stepped closer. "We faced danger together. I know who you are. A brave leader. A kind person. Your face only shows what was always there." The council soon learned of his reaction. Tradition allowed the princess to choose. She chose Leon. Predictably, some nobles resisted. A human bonding with their heir challenged every expectation. Yet the station's citizens who witnessed the crisis supported the decision. They saw the human's bravery. They saw the way the princess stood taller beside him. The Varen believed in strength of spirit. Leon possessed that strength. A ceremony was arranged in the crystal hall. Thousands gathered to witness it. The princess walked to the center, where Leon waited. The veil remained in place. Traditions held. But when she reached him, she took his hand. The hall fell silent. She removed the veil once more. This time the entire hall witnessed her unmasked presence. Gasps broke the stillness. Many expected dread. Instead, they saw the calm expression of the human who accepted her without flinching. His steady gaze transformed the moment into something historic. The Varen Council declared their bond valid. Humanity became honored allies of the royal line. The story spread across the Dominion. The tale of a human who stood before the veiled princess without fear inspired many. It marked a new chapter where courage outranked bloodlines, where understanding mattered more than ancient fears, where unity grew from trust rather than duty. Leon remained beside Princess Lyra as both partner and advisor. Together they worked to strengthen diplomatic ties and advance cooperation between their peoples. He learned the ways of her culture. She explored human customs with curiosity. They traveled to planets where their bond symbolized hope for peaceful relations. Every mission reinforced the truth that two individuals from distant worlds could shape the future with shared conviction. In time, the veil no longer served as a barrier. It became a symbol of choice rather than concealment. The princess still wore it during formal events, but she no longer hid behind it. Her people accepted her true face because the human beside her saw beyond.